Let's go on with our paragraph writing strategy. We are still working on the body and the detailed sentences. After that, we'll go on to the conclusion sentence, or that last sentence. There are some requirements for the detailed sentences, and we've talked about some before. Each detailed sentence must contain related information. So that information has to come from the topic sentence and then go into the details. You can't go off and do other information in there. It's got to have a logical sequence with the other sentences, and that is based on your transition words, and I'll show you that in this lesson. We've worked on this. It's got to include a transition sentence or word if it introduces a new detail. It's got to be written from the same point of view, and it's got to be written in the same tense. We'll talk about both of those next. So, different points of view. You might have learned this in your English classes, but this could be a review for you. First person is coming from the writer's point of view, and you'll hear words like I or we. So an example of this is I need to walk my dog, or we are moving to another apartment. That is in first person. Second person is from the viewpoint of the readers, and you'll hear you said a lot. An example of this is you should put less books in your bag. Then there's third person, and those are kind of the others. You'll hear they, he, she, or you might hear someone's name, like Tamala or Eduardo, or you might hear objects or places, like a house or a toy. One example of this is the boys went to the movie. All right, let's do now the different tenses. In past tense, you might hear words like painted with that ed, or was painting, or had painted. An example, she was painting the wall. Now in present tense, you're going to hear things like is painting, paints. An example of that is she is painting the wall. Then the other tense is future tense. Will paint or shall paint. An example of this is she will paint the wall. In your paragraph, you have to keep to the same tense, so you can't go from past tense to future tense. You need to stay within past tense, future, or present tense or future. Present tense or future tense. Okay, let's talk about detailed sentence sequences. There's such thing as a size sequence, when the details are larger or smaller. There's time sequence, when some details occur before others in time. There's space sequence, when details are arranged in a space and they're related to each other. And then importance sequence, when some of your details are more important than other ones. And I have a sheet that I made that will go in the lesson, so you'll be able to look at this in the lesson and be able to, when you're writing a paragraph, you want to stick to the same transition. So let's say if you are decided to do time transition, all of these you can use in that paragraph. But you wouldn't necessarily go to another one. You would stick to the same one, like maybe the space transition. You would do all of those, or could do all of those. I want to give you an example of something you will run into in this lesson. So you're going to be given a topic sentence, like, I own 3 of the cutest dogs in the world. Then you're going to be given detail 1, detail 2, and detail 3. And you get to write whatever the lesson or question calls for. This one calls for write a lead off or follow-up sentence for detail number 2. So we're going to write about a yellow dog that barks a lot. You can add any information besides that in, just you get to make that up. But I'm just giving you a little bit of details. So we know that for a lead-off sentence, you start with a transition word. And I picked the largest. So right here, the largest dog has a lovely black and curly fur. And then you don't need to use a transition word in your follow-up sentence. He is overly friendly and needs to meet everyone.